you are really good at helping people say, okay, your product's great, that's good, but let's fall in love with the business and let's fall in love with how your product is going to help people transform. So for us, you helped us get out of our own way. And that's why, to Chris's points, we're scaling to 8 figures this year, which is very exciting for us. And we couldn't do it without you.
All right, guys, thank you for joining me. Chris, let's start with you. Let's talk about who you are, what you do in the world, what your genius is.
Oh, well, thank you. Well, my genius, I guess I've been doing content for 30 years. I've done hundreds and hundreds of commercials. I've done movies. I've done television. We've done documentaries. And that's how we opened up they're working on together, which is the VUCA Max Leadership Program that we're working with together now. Came off of one documentary called It's VUCA, The Secret to um, the discovering what your human value is in the 21st century. And so that's me. I've won 3 Emmys, and now I'm working with Susie, who I think is a genius and who is exceptional in so many areas, who is the bomb, who's got it all. And I couldn't be more thrilled. My friend Mike Schindler is on the other side of the Zoom here, and he is also brilliant and funny and just a great partner.
So, Mike, share with everyone what you do and how it comes to play together.
Well, my genius is identifying the smart people in the room, which is why I work with you, Susie, and why I work with Chris. I mean, my background about a former Navy, former military, former startup guy. And then I got into working with our military and veteran families and have been personally coaching high-level executives and new learning development leaders. So people that are up and coming leaders for close to 2 decades now. So my magic or my superpower is really helping people identify their mission, purpose, identity. And that's why I love what we do together, Susie, honestly, because when you're talking about, taking people to the next level in profits, you're teaching them how to do that through transformative ways. And that it really starts with the individual. And that's, I mean, got 2 beautiful daughters. And I'm just, as Chris says, I love to have fun. So.
Awesome. Well, let's talk about the revenue growth and the projections we put together and what that's done for you guys just in seeing what's possible.
Yeah, well, Susie's terrific. I mean, she's the bomb when it comes to these things and scaling businesses, and from every aspect. I mean, she understands the efficiency, how to make it, how to build a business efficient, how to scale it, how to use AI even in a business. She's an expert at that, a fractional expert as they call it now. And so she's projected that we'll be an 8 figure company this year, and we're on our way. And thanks to Susie. And we can't say we're more about her or recommend her more. And we're thrilled to work with her because she's not only a doctor in this stuff, she has her doctorate in business efficiency and scaling companies, but she's fun to work with. And, she's somebody that you want to talk to all the time. So, and she was in our documentary, and she's also great. Just personably and great stories, and she's with you every step of the way.
So, Mike, talk about the challenges you guys have faced, like when we put the documentary together and then looking at growing it into a scalable business versus just a great documentary.
Yeah, I mean, it's one thing to be movie makers, right? Like, Chris's expertise and my expertise as far as, being able to write and co-executive produce, that's a talent in and of itself. Movie making, storytelling is one talent, but growing a business and growing a business from a movie, it takes oftentimes somebody from the outside to go, hey, listen, yes, that's your product, but let me show you how to scale the product. And for Chris and I think we love the story, we love the content, and sometimes we fall in love with the content and we need to fall in love with the business. And that's where you were really good with helping us, is identifying the practical, tactical steps that we needed to take in order to grow the business side of, okay, you've got a film, now you've got an executive leadership development company. Now we have to scale that. That's your product, right? So regardless of the product, there's business principles you have to adhere to. And as creatives, even though I joke, Chris and I oftentimes say that, I'm the business end of the pencil. Uh, I fall in love with the product. And you are really good at helping people say, okay, your product's great, that's good, but let's fall in love with the business and let's fall in love with how your product is going to help people transform. So for us, you helped us get out of our own way. And that's why, to Chris's points, we're scaling to 8 figures this year, which is very exciting for us. And we couldn't do it without you.
So if you would say if someone's on the fence and they want to work with us, what would you tell them?
I'd say you need to invest in it. To not invest in it is to hold yourself back. I mean, it's a must, I believe.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think to Mike's point, so my background's in marketing and I've worked with huge companies, Google and Disney, and I started in advertising in the marketing business. And one of the things that even ad agencies are terrible at is marketing themselves. They're I can tell a company you should do this and you should do this and you should do this and spend the money. you know, yeah, take the risks. But a lot of times you need someone like Susie to say, well, do this, do this, do this. And here's the thing in the environment that we live in. Okay. And Mike's right. So I've been doing films forever and working on commercials and working with marketing with companies. But at the same time, there's a lot of moving parts these days with marketing as far as like social channels, and we were just talking about YouTube before we started, and Instagram and TikTok and Facebook and all of these things. They really involve a lot of mastery in all these areas, and that's what Susie brings to the party.
I love that. Um, so if you anything you want to share with the viewers, anything you want to share about why they need to take action. If I look at most businesses, 15% of our financial success is our vocation. The other 85% is their sales, their marketing, their operations, and their leadership. Right. So what can you say about that?
Mm. Well, that's just it. I mean, you're talking about, what you're talking about, the vocation, the product, right? I mean, it's the storytelling that goes behind that. It's the advertising, the marketing. That's what you're talking about, Dr. Susie. And I will say you do bring the doctor level of how to tell that story to the marketplace so that they can scale up and be profitable. Uh, I would say that if you're not investing in how to really level up, how to make your business profitable today, you will be left behind. And I would say, Dr. Susie, you are amazing for us. That's why we chose to do business with you. There's so many options out there, but not great options, right? Some people just pay for, regular gas, and some people want the premium. And you are like premium. I don't know if that's really good to refer to you as gas, but you know what I'm saying? Like maybe diamonds or something, but
Diamond.
right?
A few diamonds.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
I think there's also something that Susie brings the equation these days, because as far as leadership goes, I mean, our program VUCA
Mhm.
Max is really about how to deal with the 21st century problems that we have, because there's a lot of uncertainty.
Yeah, that's right.
And these days, innovation and taking risks and all that stuff is very scary. And leadership these days really has to step up to the plate. And that's also something very different for leadership, which is really like 3 months ahead or 6 months ahead and planning. And that's why I mentioned AI earlier, because AI is a very confusing area. I mean, Mike and I do a lot of work, and Susie, we do a lot of work with companies in this area, and only 10% of companies are really using it efficiently. And some people say 4%. And that's drastic in this environment, because it is very kind of magical in a way. But unless you really understand the times and the changes that we have, and are really on top of that, right? Like, how do I automate my company? But how do I keep my culture? And how do I do a lot of this stuff is really important. And Susie's not just a profit coach, but she's a very up-to-date profit coach,
Hmm.
where she can say, you need to do this, 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 and this, and maybe last year you couldn't do it.